Well, hello. Welcome to the Balm of Gilead Global Ministries. My name is Pastor Mike Hatch, and I am the senior pastor and founder of this ministry. Today, I want to share with you a nugget about healing, how important it is to be healed in our spirit man. I'm going to read a passage of scripture from the book of Isaiah, starting in chapter number 5 and then moving into chapter 6. In Isaiah chapter 5, verse number 20, it says, "Woe unto them that call evil good, and good evil, that put darkness for light, and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet, and sweet for bitter." Verse 21, "Woe to them that are wise in their own eyes, and prudent in their own sight. Woe to them that are mighty to drink wine, and men of strength to mingle strong drink." Isaiah chapter 6, verse 1. "In the year King Uzziah died, I saw also the Lord sitting upon a throne, high and lifted up, and his train filled the temple. Above it stood the seraphim. Each one had 6 wings. With 20 they cover his face, with 20 he covered his feet, and with 20 he did fly." The word twain meaning both. "And they cried one to another and said, Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. The whole earth is full of his glory. And the post of the door moved at the voice of him that cried, and the house was filled with smoke. Then I said, Woe is me, for I am undone, because I am a man of unclean lips, and I dwell in the midst of a people of unclean lips. For mine eyes have seen the King, the Lord of hosts. Then flew one of the seraphim unto me, having a live coal in his hand, which had taken from the tongues off the altar, and he laid it upon my mouth, and said, Lo, this hath touched my lips, and thine iniquity is taken away, and thy sin is purged. And I also heard the voice of the Lord saying, Whom shall I send, and who will go for us? Then said I, Here am I, send me." In this very familiar passage of scripture, we see the prophet Isaiah as he was growing in his relationship with God. Originally, when he first began to prophesy, he found himself woeing everybody else. In other words, he was finding fault with everybody around him. He was talking about woe to you for this, woe to you for that. And he was looking at everyone else as if they were less than he was, if he was better, more effective, holier than everyone else, where he felt like he had the right to be able to tell everybody else how bad they were. But that's never God's intention. God is concerned that we look at ourselves first. And so what God did, he put Isaiah in a position where God said, I'm going to make it to where you can't compare yourself with other people, but you have to compare yourself with me. And so God put him in the midst of a vision. And in that vision, he saw God high and lifted up. He saw God's train filling the temple. He saw God's presence overwhelming him. He saw angels flying around. He saw the seraphims. That word seraphim means burning ones. In other words, these angels that he saw were on fire, and they were flying around the throne of God, saying, Holy, holy, holy is the Lord. And then finally he heard God's voice. And when he heard God's voice, it said the doorpost of the room shook as he heard God's voice. And then what God wanted from him, it happened. He said, oh my God, woe is me. I am undone. In other words, as opposed to looking at other people and thinking you're better than other people, because you can always find someone that you may think you're better than. But how do you stack up when you compare yourself to God? And when he saw himself stacked up to God, he says, woe is me. I am undone. And he began to say, I am a man of unclean lips. In other words, my problem is my mouth. I talk too much. I say too many things about people when really I need to shut up about other people and focus my attention on myself. And when he did that, when he confessed his sin, immediately God sent an angel to come touch his problem. The angel took a hot coal off of God's altar, and he went and touched right where Isaiah confessed he had the problem. It was his mouth. And the angel touched his lips. And when he touched his lips, it said he was made clean. And God, now knowing that Isaiah is ready, that he's clean, he said, who will minister for me? Who will go? Isaiah said, here am I, send me. Now, once he was healed from his judgmental spirit. He was healed from his mouth. He was healed from talking too much. He was healed finding fault with people. Once he was healed, notice from that point on, his ministry changed. Now, as opposed to talking about woe is people, woe is you, his ministry began to see the Messiah. He says, who hath believed our report, and in whom is the arm of the Lord revealed? He was wounded for our transgressions, and by his stripes we are healed. Once he was healed, his ministry went to a whole new level. He was more effective for God. He began to see into the future. He saw the Messiah, but that would have never happened unless he was healed. And God is calling us today to be healed. Identify the area of your life that needs to be healed, and God will heal you, and your work in the kingdom will go to a whole new level. God bless you, and be healed.